couldn't see each other. All they could see was the chaplain at the front of the chapel. Very unique. And on the bottom left is the entrance to the castle, and top left another view from the street. I mentioned earlier Sir Isaac Newton, who grew up in Lincolnshire. He's actually grew up in Woolsthorpe Manor, which is, you can see there, and on the left is Sir Isaac Newton's apple tree. Well, it's not really the actual apple tree. The apple tree, the original apple tree, was destroyed in a storm, and the tree you see there regrew from the roots. And it's been cloned, and there are clones of it all over the world. Unfortunately, just recently in 2022, that tree was destroyed, as you can see in the top photo. But I'm sure they're growing another one to replace it. So going further north, we go into Yorkshire, which is the largest county in the UK, spanning almost 3 million acres. If you ever go to Yorkshire, I can guarantee one thing you'll see is a lot of sheep. There are over 600,000 sheep in the Yorkshire Dales, more sheep than people, I believe. And on the right there's a close-up of one of them, a Swaledale sheep. That's what most of them are. Top left is our camping accommodation, in the early days anyway, a Volkswagen Bug with a canopy. The canopy was my sleeping quarters. Kerry and Jess slept in the van. Very cosy indeed. And here we stay at Robin Hood's Bay, which is a very popular resort in Yorkshire. You can see the views from our campsite in the morning and in the evening. Beautiful spot. And the village of Robin Hood's Bay is just charming. You can't take any cars down there. You have to walk down a very steep hill, and then you have to walk back up. But it's very pretty, as you can see from these shots. The village was a fishing village with a tradition of smuggling, and was reputed to be a network of subterranean passages linking the houses. Interestingly, the novel Dracula by Bram Stoker has scenes set in Robin Hood's Bay. Oh. A little further along the coast is Whitby, another popular resort. The abbey and its possessions were confiscated by the Crown under Henry VIII's reign during the dissolution of the monasteries, which happened between 1536 and 1545. For those who don't know, the dissolution of the monasteries that Henry VIII caused to happen, they took all the lead roofs off the abbeys over the entire country and the stained glass and sold them to fund the war efforts. And this was actually not an unpopular thing for him to have done, because although the abbeys were started out as places that helped the local communities, by the time the dissolution happened, a lot of them had grown very wealthy and they were no longer fulfilling their original mission. So people didn't feel bad when the abbeys were destroyed. And bottom right, that's Whitby Bay. Another shot of Whitby. One thing that you see in a lot of small English villages is an old-fashioned candy store with all the old-fashioned candies in big glass containers, as you can see in the window. And bottom right is one of the living sculptures that we saw while we were there. York is the county town of Yorkshire, and it also has Roman origins. York Minster, which was built from 1230 to 1472, is the second largest Gothic cathedral of Northern Europe. York also has a great Christmas market. You can see Jeff and Kerry, bottom left, at the market. Of course, this was during COVID days, so they're wearing masks. And bottom right is the sign for what is the shortest street in York. It's called, it probably has one of the longest names though, the Whitmore Watmore Gate. I'm sure that gets photographed a lot. One of York's most famous landmarks is the Shambles, and these are all pictures of areas in the Shambles. It's one of the best preserved medieval shopping streets in Europe, dating back to the 14th century. It's thought to have been the inspiration for Diagon Alley in the Harry Potter series. And on that shop on the left, the sign reads, "The shop that must not be named." And on the right of the window, you can see a place to park your broom. Knaresborough's market town on the River Nid is the site of one of the oldest chemist shops in England, dating from 1720. As you might know, in England we call drugstores chemist shops. The statue bottom left is of Mother Shipton, that £43,000 sculpture. It sits on a bench in the market square in the centre of the town. She was a Tudor prophetess, believed to have predicted events such as the Great Fire of London. And the viaduct, which you can see is very iconic of Knaresborough. You'll see many pictures of that. Castle Howard. It's a private residence and has been the home of the Carlisle branch of the Howard family for more than 300